Happy Wednesday! It's the day after Halloween. You know what that means. It's the day after Halloween.
And I'm hungover.
Yes. Welcome to ScreenJunkies Universe. I am very excited today to be joined by Mr. Spencer Gilbert. Okay. It's going to be a high-energy show. Mr. Dan Murrell.
Hi.
Okay. And Clark Wolfe, who's going to bring it home with...
Good morning!
Good morning! In the news listening... Good morning. Clark Wolfe is our very special guest today, and boy, do we have a great show for you. I promised, not knowing how it would ultimately turn out. Star Wars.
I have a question for Clark first.
Yes.
Have you been watching Mr. Robot Season 3?
Absolutely not.
Me neither. So we both co-hosted like unbuffering Mr. Robot or whatever. This is the biggest drop-off.
Whatever. The name of your show. Debugging.
All the good ones were taken. So we went from doing a after show for a show we loved season 1 to literally not watching the next season.
And season 2 was...
Wait, no, you did the after show in season 2. That's when you started to hate it.
Yeah, season 2, doing that show made us hate it so much that we haven't even just casually, not even having to talk about it, revisited.
As soon as we finished that after show, I was like, I am never watching
this again.
I will say this though, a lot of shows have a second season slump and then come back up the third season.
Okay, all right.
We don't know.
I'll wait till it ends.
But I forgot that it was on though.
Yeah,
I
forgot that it was on again.
You haven't been checking out USA's other programming?
Oh my gosh,
Characters welcome,
but no,
man.
actually,
Characters welcome.
The Sinner was the surprise of the summer. I'm no kidding. The Sinner on USA was amazing.
Oh, okay.
Go watch The Sinner. It is excellent. Jessica Biel is great, and Bill Pullman's in it.
Tune in for Exercising the Sinner on ScreenJunkies News.
Does USA have a rule that only one show at a time can be
good?
the good show that everyone's watching? 'Cause I feel like it's called the Suits slot.
There's a lot of television.
There's like one show always.
There's a lot of TV.
Just bring back that train full of cartoons.
Guess what I'm
Okay,
Here we
anyways,
go.
yes, Roth.
Cartoon
Here
Express.
we go. Welcome to my life. It's this. You know what else was a surprise hit? Apparently, Luke Skywalker himself showing up in the Star Wars. Dun, 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 The Force Awakens. So Mark Hamill did a little...
tactical poncho
I don't know why I'm talking like a radio host today of like a college station.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's
Keep
what
going.
I feel. You guys let me know in the comments below. Radio host
I was
and
just
college
floored
station.
by your wonderful rendition of that classic Star Wars music cue.
Dun, dun, dun.
Thank you. It's good to be here today. So in a recent New York Times profile, Mark Hamill was talking about, essentially, he was really hesitant to come back for The Force Awakens. And he said...
He wasn't in it much.
I'm getting there.
Just had to stand there.
I'm getting there.
Okay.
God damn it. There's a lot of television in the world, first of all, to come back to that. 400 hours of television. Watch Riverdale. I was just scared, he said. I thought, why mess with it? The idea of catching lightning in a bottle twice was ridiculously remote. That's a fair concern. But he also said he kind of felt like he had an out in the sense that there was no way Harrison Ford was going to come back. He said his take on it was he's too old and too rich and too cranky. He's not going to do this. And then he was like, can you imagine if I was the only one to say no? I would be the most hated man in nerdom. But he also talks about the fact that he was really hesitant about the idea that he was just going to show up in that last shot when it was initially proposed, because he said, look, if it smacks of the audience of a cheat or a gimmick, if there's a big groan in the house, the egg's on my face, not JJ's. But he came around and said, hey, look, when they're talking about you that much in a movie before you even show up, that's fabulous. So can you guys imagine a Star Wars, the return to Star Wars, without Luke, A? And can Harrison Ford just convince anyone to do anything? Like, are you saying yes if he tells you to jump off a cliff, Dan?
Harrison Ford?
Yeah.
No. Because he's probably just doing it
Say that if you got his drink order wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Go jump off a cliff.
I ordered gin and tonic. This is gin and soda. Go jump off a cliff. And bring me Spielberg.
What was the question?
Star Wars, no Luke.
I mean, look, yeah, Force
We already
Awakens.
had
You
it
could
in
cut him
Force
out of Force
Awakens.
Awakens pretty easily, but the next one's all about Luke, right? So
Yeah.
no, I assume he's got a bigger part to play. Could you recast him? I think is the interesting question.
Well, thanks for adding the interesting question to my Google document this morning. What do you think? Could you recast him? No way.
But it's an interesting question.
Okay, Clark, do you want to answer his interesting question?
I do not think you can recast Luke, but I do think that I think you can continue the story without Luke Skywalker and Han Solo and Leia. But I'm glad that we don't have to make that decision. I'm glad that that's not what we ended up getting. Like, I'm glad that we got the continuation with those original players for sure. And but I don't know if Mark Hamill was that hesitant to not come back. Like, I feel like he likes being Luke Skywalker now in his later years. Don't you think?
I mean, my impression of him was always that he actually had the best attitude about it.
Yeah.
Right? Throughout the years, that he sort of still had fun with it. And then when he became very popular again in like nerd communities with the Joker, he was never hesitant to talk about Star Wars. So that actually does surprise me. However, think about the idea that he would return to that without Harrison Ford or Carrie Fisher at the time. He kind of probably would have felt like, well, don't I look like a jerk if I go back and they don't?
Right.
You know?
And I could see the reticence too, because prior to The Force Awakens, the last group of Star Wars actors have been getting run through the mud for the last 15 years about their movies. I mean, there are defenders, but largely a lot of people are very ridiculed for their roles, or you know, have the wonderful honor of being the only good part about X.
Yep.
So I could say, you know, if I'm Mark Hamill, I'm like, do I just leave it alone? Am I going to wish that I had just left it where it was? It makes total sense to me. But yeah, if Carrie Fisher and Harrison Ford say yes, you
have
can't
to
say
do
no.
it.
You can't say no.
And also, you're with JJ. I mean, at that point, like, you have to feel like you're in pretty trusted hands. No?
Yeah, the whole Disney too big to fail company is behind you, so it'll succeed whether you're in it or not. So you might as well be in it.
Yeah. Side note: Porg.
Wait, Porg? What?
Porg.
Huh?
What's with porgs? I don't get
You're
it.
just yelling Porg at JT?
Yeah, but it's not going to happen.
Denied.
Good on you,
Sometimes
JT.
I'm just denied by JT. He makes an executive decision and I don't get the pork.
Yeah.
Billy, our producer, cannot stand porgs. I happen to adore porgs, and there was a recent porg update, that the screaming porg from the Last Jedi trailer was in fact designed a bit to mimic Chewie.
I thought it was because he has fibromyalgia. That's why he was screaming. They revealed that in the new behind the scenes.
Why would
extra
fibromyalgia
scoop.
make you scream?
That's
not,
It's very
it makes you
painful.
tired.
It's just, we're speculating on a screaming porg. It's just like, this is dumb. But yes, let's do it.
but just to be clear, fibromyalgia is a virus, and it makes you feel ill and tired.
Oh, okay. Look,
You know what else?
I don't have a huge bag of joke diseases in my sack here that I can pull from with the right symptoms.
You know what's not tired?
What?
Tyrese!
Oh,
We have a
yeah.
Tyrese update for you. All right.
Oh, this is like
Oh my
Christmas.
God,
Yeah.
he's back
Every
again.
one
Yeah.
of these is like Christmas.
Yeah.
It's like I get 5 Christmases.
There's no story in entertainment. I shouldn't say. There's no story in entertainment more beloved to us at the moment than the continuing saga of Tyrese
What
and
were
The
you going
Rock.
to say?
Never
mind.
I was going to say more. It just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Beloved to us
Yes.
than Tyrese and his continuing saga with The Rock. He has an update this morning. Dan, Murrell, and I were tagged on Facebook because it was very important to
We
our
were?
viewers. Yes.
I didn't
No,
even
on
notice.
Instagram.
Oh,
Very
on
important to our
those.
viewers that we know about this. An hour ago, Tyrese posted, this is from our producer Billy, quote, like a crazy person, on his Instagram once more, calling out Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Here's what he said. Hello, world, ... So many dots. Hello,
Bad
loyal
sign.
fans and loved ones from our, all caps,
Oh, boy.
Fast universe. So many dots again. I'm sorry to announce that if Dwayne, and
Dwayne.
this is how it's spelled, Dewayne. I want to point out again to
Dwayne
Tyrese.
Wade from the Miami Heat. But
There
you
is
know,
an edit option on Instagram, Tyrese. Okay, here we go. If he is in Fast 9, there will be no more Roman Pierce, also misspelled.
Yeah.
You mess with the
misspelled both
family.
The Rock's name and his own character's name.
You mess with the family and my daughter's, also misspelled. Survivor, I messed with yours. Many dots
whoa.
later.
Is he threatening The Rock's family?
Yes, he is. Close your eyes, dude. You're a quote clown. I don't know why clowns in quotes.
Maybe he told him he's a clown.
Candy ass bitch made. All my real one. Men on integrity.
Well, that's just free association.
It's beat poetry.
He was drunk when he wrote
There-
this.
My real
There's-
ones that stand up, folks.
There's
that
actually
GP to
3
the-
ellipses here, which is correct. My real ones out there stand up. Many ellipses. Folks that GP
I think
to the
that's supposed to be
gym.
go
Go.
to the gym.
Go to the gym and get big naturally.
That's some slander.
Oh no! Hashtag no juice. No OJ
OJs.
spin. Off, huh? Spin off these nuts, selfish champ. Ellipses, pause notice. Who's got his arms around my shoulder and who's standing alone? Hashtag our children matter.
Hashtag our children matter.
This is a
All right,
mess.
this is a lot to unpack.
This is my
Clarke.
Zapruder film.
Clarke, have you followed this?
I mean, not as closely as you all have, obviously, but I am familiar with the situation, and I think Tyrese is having a tough time with the fact that The Rock is franchise Viagra, as they say, and sort of reinvigorated this franchise, and maybe he wants to do more, but he sounds like he's a little out of control.
We've seen this
Is that
happening.
blood sugar or drugs, Dan?
For Tyrese,
Yeah.
I think he's high on Tyrese.
Okay.
I think he's just high on Tyrese. We've seen this happening since the first one, and we have implored, and I believe we have directly implored, and I will continue to implore. We've told Tyrese,
Dear Tyrese.
not to, dear Tyrese, we told you not to draw a line in the sand and make the studio choose between The Rock and you.
Yeah.
You will
We're
lose.
not ridiculing you. We're doing this to look out for you.
It's because we care.
It's because we care. You have now drawn that line that we have told you. Tyrese, take it back.
Just pedal
They're
back.
not going to pick you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I know that's very difficult to hear. They're going to pick The Rock. And if you're looking out for hashtag our children, or The Rock's
matter.
daughters, or whoever you're addressing this to, take it back. Just green screen it. They green screened Ven in the last movie. They can re-screen you
There's
into
the
this
edit
one.
button.
Yeah.
Take the money and run.
Run all the way to the bank, Tyrese, because you're
Run,
not going to win.
Tyrese.
You're not going to win in a box office
gonna
fight, a
win.
franchise fight with The Rock. You have to know the rules. You're never going to win in a franchise fight with The Rock. We care, Tyrese. We want to see you come through this. Okay, I do want to reiterate the edit button option. Important
on
thing.
Instagram, yeah.
Spencer, thoughts?
I feel like we've said all there is to say about Tyrese and this situation. I'd like to address Tyrese's agent. You can. It's okay. You can drop the client at this point. Like he's out of control. He needs help. Maybe suggest like some other agencies or like some rehab programs or something like that. But you do not have to stick around any longer. Cut bait. You know, there'll be another Tyrese and come along and we'll support you in your next journey.
Can I add something?
Yes,
Get
Billy
in here.
business.
Billy business.
I didn't see this originally when I was looking, but in a post that he had made, I think a couple hours before this post, he says in a hugely long rant,
Wow,
he
that's
said, yeah, FYI, I was never mad at The Rock. I was just mad that he was pitched an idea privately and said yes to it without thinking of what I'm dealing with personally. He goes on to say, I'm almost broke paying legal fees and doing what we
For
committed
what?
doing for the Fast fans. I think this has to do with his ex-wife. But it's just weird that this came, and then about 3-4 hours later is when he went on the tirade. So he is mad at The Rock.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay,
He
but-
wasn't earlier.
But here's the thing, like, hey.
Thank you, Billy.
Thank you, Billy Business.
But they're not asking him to come be in the movie for free and saying
Yeah.
like we're giving all of your money to The Rock. Like you can
Exactly.
still get money.
Well, they're saying that we're going to push the release of the next Fast movie so that we can make the Hobbs and,
Right.
and
And he's-
Statham
and
movie.
he's saying-
and he's already promised, I guess, his legal squad or something like
Some money.
Squad goals.
Squad goals. Those are not squad goals.
goals cash.
Call Nick Cage. Hire Nick Cage's
Yes.
agent.
Yes.
You will have 5 movies by
Direct to
tomorrow.
DVD.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's just insane to me though, because all you're doing is sitting there and hurting your own career. Like you got to know your place in the world a little bit. It's a hard thing to do sometimes. For example, like I'm not going to say it's me and Spencer or Spencer Gilbert because it's going to be Spencer Gilbert. I
Well-
know that, and so does Spencer.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I would quit and protest.
Oh, solidarity.
Yeah, but it's a very much unlike the Rock anyone else situation. Just if you're curious about your place, it's The Rock,
Yeah.
and then it's the
And
rest
then
of
the world.
humanity.
Yeah, like
Everyone else.
literally no one is more important than The Rock, other than I'd say Oprah. Would you say Oprah?
Yes, I would agree with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oprah's
I would agree
definitely
with
more,
that.
more
Beyonce-
important than the
yeah,
op.
Beyonce maybe.
Beyonce,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. That's it.
That's it. Yeah, that's it.
You know what
That
else
really
is
clears that
important?
up. What?
Coming to America, one of the greatest comedies ever made. I am standing by that, people. If you haven't seen it, I hope that you do after seeing this incredible segment in which Danielle Radford and Mr. Joe Starr went to Fat Sal's in Hollywood, which transformed to McDowell's from the beloved film Coming to America for Halloween. Take a look.
Ooh, does everyone have cans?
What's up, guys? It's Joe and Danielle.
Hello,
Thanks for joining me, buddy. Look, Fat Sal's in Hollywood for Halloween dressed up as McDowell's from Coming to America.
They're McDonald's. I'm McDowell's.
Danielle and I are huge Coming to America fans, so we had to come and discuss one of our favorite comedies over some Zamunda fries, a sexual chocolate shake.
It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
It has a piece of cake on it.
Sexual chocolate.
And where would we be without a Big Mick?
They use a sesame seed bun. My buns have no seeds.
Their buns have no seeds.
Their buns have no seeds,
No
my friend.
seeds.
What is Fat Sal's usually like?
Fat Sal's is, a sandwich place. We do burgers, French fries, shakes, crazy over-the-top fun food. We have 5 locations open. We got 2 more coming. But today, we are McDowell's. I saw Coming to America in the theaters at Whitestone Cinemax in the Bronx in 1988 when it dropped. Yep.
So you are from New York.
I'm from New York.
How New York does this movie feel to you?
It's pretty New York.
We're in New York now. Let us dress as New Yorkers.
When they go and they dress as real New Yorkers, and one's in all the Jets gear and one's in all the Mets gear, that's a great Halloween costume too.
I feel like a complete idiot.
Favorite moments of this movie?
Oh, there are so many. Queen to Be is obviously a huge moment.
She's your queen to be.
Obviously, the song is iconic.
Yep.
And then that moment where he's belting and then just comes back.
Just drops back down.
It's so good.
Cuba Gooding Jr. in the barbershop chair.
Yes.
The train. I feel like there's a lost trope that no one talks about of bystanders on a New York subway train watching what happens.
Absolutely.
And this is probably the best one.
Go on, honey. Take a chance.
They have that great callback to Trading Places where he gives the money to the homeless dudes and it turns out they're the guys from Trading Places.
Look, we're back.
I love the club scene. I think that's the scene they're actually playing right now, where he's trying to audition a woman to be his next lady, and they somehow come up with 2 sets of defective-ass twins.
Yep.
How is that even possible?
My name is Peaches, and I'm the best.
All the DJs want to feel my pickup.
My family is obsessed with this movie. My Oma, my grandma, she is a very kindly white German lady, and her family comes to visit.
They come to America?
They come to America, and I don't speak German, but my Oma was talking to them about something, and you see her like, rah, 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 rah. The royal penis is clean, your highness, because that's like her favorite scene in the movie.
There is video somewhere of a 9 or 10-year-old me, way too young to understand that maybe it's weird that the little white kid is doing all this, but I used to be able to do word for word Reverend Brown and Mr. Randy Watson.
That boy is good.
Good and terrible.
I used to do that whole scene, the sermon, and then the song, his pep talk at the
Joe,
engagement party.
why have I not seen this?
No one has ever
I thought
seen
that
this.
we were
No one will
friends.
ever see this. Before we dig into our sexual chocolate
This
shake,
is so much, I
and
can't.
it kills us. What's the lasting sort of legacy of this movie? Why does it hold up so well?
Part of it is that there is no wasted moment. Every character gets to have a moment. The sister with her dance at that one part, everything, even the parts of it that are super sweet or character building, there are jokes crammed into every minute of this movie. This movie is like a joke turducken.
Guys, rewatch Coming to America. It's so good. They don't make comedies like that anymore, where they just feel like a good, strong movie. This is a good romantic comedy.
It's a good romantic comedy.
Thank you for coming to a fictional restaurant, mimicking a fictional restaurant in a movie.
Heck yeah, let's steal some IP.
Let's do it. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
That was the greatest thing Screen Junkies universe has ever done.
That was a great piece. That actually made me want to go watch Coming to America.
Definitely.
Have you not seen it?
I've never seen it all the way through.
Whoa.
Yeah, I remember it was on Comedy Central all the time when I was younger.
Censored. Neutered, though.
Yeah, exactly. But I've never made it all the way through. I've seen scenes.
It's a joke turducken. That was a great way to describe
That
it.
was a great way to describe it.
You have so much good stuff ahead of you. I cannot express, and I'm also a New Yorker, if I haven't mentioned that 56 times, how much I love this movie. Like, I love this movie, and you're going to love it too. I promise you. Okay. And I'm just going to get more and more New York as we go on in the...
Hey, I'm walking here. It's the water, the pizza.
And it is a great romantic comedy, which we don't get a lot of these days. So, well done. Thank you, Joe and Danielle.
That was great.
I love the on-location reports. That's great.
Let's do more of that.
Yeah, that was a good time. I want to
go on a field trip.
I also want to mention the fact that though Joe said no one will ever see that video, you'll see that video of Joe doing that sermon. Oh, yes.
Maybe not.
We don't need to.
I don't think we need that.
We'll see. We will see. All right. Hollywood.
Yeah.
Hooray for Hollywood.
The shoes keep dropping.
They sure do.
All across.
Today in shoe drop news.
Today in shoe drop news. Brett Ratner.
Yeah.
Brett Ratner has been accused of sexual assault or harassment by 6 women, including actresses Olivia Munn and Natasha Henstridge, who detailed their experiences in the Los Angeles Times. Here's what Henstridge had to say. She told a story about her encounter with Ratner when she was 19 years old. She says, quote, "He strong-armed me in a very real way. He physically forced himself on me, and at some point, I gave in, and he did his thing."
Ooh.
Olivia Munn also recounted a graphic incident with Ratner. Now, all of this is impacting Hollywood. House of Cards has delayed production. Ratner's case is particularly tricky in the sense of the financial repercussions for Warner Brothers. Dan, did you want to address that a little bit?
Yeah, well, no, that's even today when I was reading these stories, which are awful. I'm just I wish I could say it was surprising, but it's the kind of thing that you've read about every other person that's been accused of this publicly. There's a reason it's a pattern. It's because these things happen. But I didn't even know how closely he was tied to Warner Brothers specifically, and how many things as a producer. And it just kind of goes to show you that, these aren't just, bit players, or this was an obscure director, or this was like Harvey Weinstein, Brett Ratner, 2 of the biggest producing names in this town. They have produced dozens of movies that you've seen that people love. I mean, Brett Ratner was produced. I said that he was producing almost everything at Warner Brothers. He's producing through his company.
So to give a little context to that, he's a partner in the Rat Pack Dune Entertainment financing facility, and so they co-finance almost everything that Warner Brothers does, including Wonder Woman. And he currently sits on the lot in Frank Sinatra's old offices. And
also a great guy.
Right, exactly. So right now, Warner Brothers is in this position where they're really going to have to publicly evaluate Ratner's position with them. However, there's huge financial implications for them as well. And how that plays out, I think, is going to be very revealing in terms of how this industry moves forward from what we're seeing right now. Because what can they do? How do they take... I don't even know what they're in a position to do. They can't fire him.
Right. I don't know what you can, because when you're a producer, it's not like you're an employee. It's not like you get fired from it. But
and that's
can't
what
you?
makes this so tricky.
I literally don't know.
I literally don't know either.
Yeah, he's a hack director and a scumbag of a human being. So I wish the worst on him. That's my 2 cents.
Sure. In terms of legally, perhaps, I mean, Rat Pack Dune, they actually could maybe do more, right? They can oust him from that company.
Maybe. I mean, it's called Rat, like that's his company. Is there a board that can do that or something?
The Weinstein Company fired Harvey Weinstein
and is facing a lawsuit.
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, it's certainly very complicated, and I think that that's one of the elements about what's happening in Hollywood. And I actually really want to get an expert in here to unpack and talk about this. That makes it very complicated, because you're right. It's not the structure of a corporation where these are employees. These are people that are in business together, but not in that structured sense, right? And so like you start thinking about the implications of things like agencies that have sent these women to these meetings and things like that, right? It's a very complicated,
I mean, they could just not do business with them in the future. That's like a given, I would hope, right?
I mean,
no?
It's.
I would hope.
I would hope so,
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
Like they don't need to give them office space on the lot.
Well, they're deciding right now
Right.
what they're going to do, but the financial implications is the piece of this one that makes it stand out even.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think we want to cover this. The part of when we were talking about this kind of new direction that we want to take is like we want to cover stories like this, not only because, you know, as allegations come out and as more people are kind of shown, you know, more stories are told about them, like it's important, I think, for just publicly for it to get coverage, but also there's a lot of people that would say like, why are you covering this? You know, like I would talk about movies. Like this story greatly impacts movies and movies that you love, movies that I love, movies that we love. And it's not just, you know, it is first and foremost a social issue, but it is not just a social issue. It is a legitimate story. And this is a cascading thing. Brett Ratner's not going to be the last person that's going to get accused and that's going to get exposed by people who, you know, I mean, when that whole Playboy Mansion story came out, we know Brett Ratner's reputation. You know, like he has it, and it's people, you know, it's one of those things. They're like, oh, Brett Ratner, I heard this, so he's a reputation for this. This whole thing is these people's reputations people coming forward and saying like, it's not just a reputation. I'm willing to put my name and my voice to this story, and it is hugely impactly on Hollywood.
This is going to change the scope. Certainly, we've talked about this before, that this is across industries, but it's certainly going to have a big impact on how Hollywood does business. Clarke, what's your take on that?
I've had dinner with Brett Ratner, and the reason I was there was because a girlfriend of mine, he wanted her to come to dinner. We were in Vegas, and she had lost her phone. And so I told her, I don't think you should go to dinner with him without a phone out in Vegas. I just don't think that's a good idea. So, and she's like, okay, well, we want to come with me. And I went, and you know, use your imagination, like it's whatever. But you know, the thing is that it does have financial implications. You know, you don't want, if you're Warner Brothers, do you want a lawsuit? Do you want to, you know, if you are business-wise tied to somebody like this, then, or if there's an incident on the lot or whatever, then lawsuits can be filed. And there are things, you know, I don't think if you are a corporation, you want that association. So what I'm hopeful of is that, you know, repercussions do happen, and when they do, hopefully people start to, you know, the systematic behavior is going to be not encouraged. It's going to be discouraged, right? If these people see that there are consequences for their actions.
Yeah, I think as this continues to evolve, we'll be talking about more. And I hope to get an expert in here at some point to just sort of talk about what we think these larger sea changes are going to be, say, in the next 5 years in this industry. We hope they're good. In addition to being a brilliant host and reporter, Clarke, Wolfe, and I are working on an endeavor together with some other amazing people in this industry. Clarke, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so there's a big group of us, Roth included, and we have come together to start a group. It's called We Rally, and basically this is a group to provide instruction and advice and mentoring and hopefully empowerment and protection for women who are working in the digital space. And basically we just wanted to come together and, you know, do something so that we can have each other's backs and we can be advocates and allies for each other. This is not exclusive to, you know, we are also encouraging men to, you know, participate in the group and be aware of the group. And because, you know, the truth is, like, you know, this is something that we're all talking about. A new story comes out, it feels like every day. But I've been getting phone calls from guys and from men in our business saying, what can I do to help? I want to be an advocate and an ally. So we started this group, We Rally, and right now it's a Facebook group. It's a closed Facebook group. So if you're interested in being a part of it, you can request to join. And we have, bigger plans. We definitely want to grow this and have hopefully live events and in-person mentoring and in-person workshops. And but we also want to provide an outlet and a encouraging space.
Yeah, and you can go today. We will have on Clarke, myself, Alicia Malone. We'll all have links on our Twitter feeds to the Facebook page if you're interested in joining up. Again, we welcome amazing, smart, compassionate, brilliant gentlemen like these here to also be a part of this. No pressure.
We're just writers and like to yell about Tyrese. So I don't know.
I also.
We rally.
We rally.
We
When
rally.
it comes to the Fast and the Furious, we rally. I think that this is in its very nascent stages, but it's about building the community together. So that's what we hope that we can do with Re-Rally. Thank you guys, speaking of community, for being amazing as always, being nice to each other, which is the #1 rule in life. And joining us today. We'll be back tomorrow, yeah?
Yeah.
I guess.
Unless something...
No, I'm not. We'll be back tomorrow.
We'll be back tomorrow.
We'll be back tomorrow.
I don't want to think about why we wouldn't be.
We'll be back tomorrow. I'm excited about it.